All right, let's see if it'll do it today. It's setting up for webinar for Facebook. Redirecting, and we should be in there. So I'm gonna check the page. I want to just hello, hello, hello. So we're signing on 3 minutes early because at noon we're going live with Reverend Darryl Mason today. And of course, this is the Better You Project video show. Every Tuesday at noon, we're here. Go ahead and get myself together first, right? Make sure I can see you and you can see me. And we'll start here in a minute. Let's get ready. Y'all come on, come on, come on. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to page. Okay, let's go back here. Boom, 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 boom. This is exciting. Okay, so I'm still here. So we got a few minutes to get ourselves together, and we have, of course, we're starting at noon. I'm going to look in my, so I'm looking over here because I have my second laptop to make sure I can see your comments as we are interviewing Reverend Mason today. So we'll give you a few minutes. We've got 2 minutes to the hour, to the top of the hour. Of course, I'm Angela Odom, and as always, you know, I'm rooting for you. This show really is about women leaders, right? A roadmap for women leaders to be successful in their careers and in their lives. And we talk about all kinds of topics now. One of the things that I really want to dive into is hard conversations. You know, we're doing conflict resolution. We're doing just communication, how we show up. And of course, you know, what skill do you bring? What skill do you actually bring? So let's see if I can get myself right here. I want to refresh this. Hold up. Ooh, I see the live button. I see the live button. All right, let's see. I see the live button, and we have 1 minute. We got this thing set up with 1 minute to spare. And that's how we do it. Okay, there we go. So I see myself. Okay. Turn that volume down. Bam. Okay. So we are live and we are ready to go here. All right, Reverend Mason. So, you're gonna just give our audience just a few minutes to come on in. You know, like you're opening your front door and you say, "Come on in, come on in, come on in." So that's what we're doing right now. We are welcoming our women leaders into our conversation today. And you ready? You ready for this?
You ready?
All right. So, hello. This is the Better You Project. And of course, I'm Angela M. Odom, and I am so excited today. You know, every Tuesday at noon, I've committed to you that I'd show up here and we would discuss issues, activities, events, resources, tools that are going to help women leaders move forward in their careers and in their lives. And man, do we have a treat today. So I tell you what, I am going to just pause so I can breathe first. So today we have Reverend Darryl Mason, and he is he's a man of much integrity, right? How do I know that? I've been watching him for like 13 years. He's married to one of my best friends. So I tell you what, so I would not bring anyone before you who really is not here to provide value to you and who don't know what they're talking about, right? And so Reverend Mason, and that is his title, and that is what we're going to call him because he has earned this thing. Isn't that something? So now first, before I start, now most time I call you Darryl. Today it is all Reverend Mason. Reverend Mason. So, sir, if you would please share with the Better You audience just a little about yourself. You know, tell us what you're going to share today, and I want you to tell our audience who they are talking to today.
All right. Well, Angie, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of the Better You Project. Just a quick reflection as you were kind of talking about how this project and your movement and your endeavor helps to better the lives of women. I was just reflecting on the fact about me growing up in a house with a strong mother, strong grandmother. Yeah, my dad was there. But just the influence that strong women, for me, strong Black women have had on my formation as a person. So it's just great to be here. Thank you so much. So just a little bit about myself. First of all, I'm a child of God, born again believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a husband, father, a minister, author, conference facilitator. So just want to share that with everyone, just a little bit about myself. I grew up in Portsmouth, Virginia, down in southeastern Virginia, where I began my work in church as a minister of music at the age of 14. God called me to get out there and share his ministry in music, where I was able to grow and develop. Then later on, went into the military, and the military kind of carried me up and down the East Coast, and I had the opportunity to share music ministry there as well. Cities of Miami, Philadelphia, Northern Virginia, Bowie, Maryland. In 2003, I was called to the gospel ministry as a preacher, not necessarily called away from music, but God gave me additional things to do in ministry. And in 2012, I was ordained at New Life Baptist Church in Miami, Florida. Pastor there, Reverend Eric Cummins. I was ordained there. And presently, I serve at Westphalia United Methodist Church, where the pastor there is the Reverend Dr. Timothy West. So I am married to retired Colonel Michelle Mitchell, who is my partner in life and my partner in ministry. And we live in Maryland. And so we've been partners together, and God has definitely called us as we have done many things, as well as the big thing I wanted to kind of point out, we've done leadership conferences, and we kind of draw on the different things that we bring to the table in ministry together in partnership. And so today, you mentioned what we're going to talk about. I have a book that's going to be coming out later this year, so be looking out for it. I'm going to be talking about a chapter in my book. The title of the book is Foundations for Effective Ministry. But one of the chapters we're going to talk about today is the 151 zone is what we're going to talk about today. And it's related to the 150 people in your life that you should focus on and make sure that you have the right people close to you. So that's the topic that we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, that's awesome. And so we definitely have the right person here for the interview today. And we have you with your experience and your vast knowledge. And you're so well-rounded. And so we're grateful for your time today. And I'm personally really excited about the 151 zone. I know we had a brief conversation, I don't know how many months ago that was, when I was actually at you all's house. And I wanted to bring the concept forward to my audience because it is powerful to be intentional about the people you allow to pour in you, the people that will influence you, your family, and really your life. Right. And one of the things that I know you're going to touch on once someone is outside of the 150, what happens and what that might look like. It just brings to mind for me that people really are in our lives for a season and a reason. Mm-hmm. And it's okay to hold on to some of them and then let some of them go. It's okay.
That's true.
And so as we start to talk about your 151 zone, can you tell us the framework or the concepts for it?
Sure. So I think the best way to approach this, we were kind of talking before, and So let's just imagine we're gonna use a story framework. So just imagine that if you were stranded on a desert island, not necessarily stranded, but you live on a desert island with all your friends and your family, associates, and you get the news one day that the island is sinking and that you have been given a boat, and on that boat you can only fit 150 people. Now, on that boat, you got, just like on the cruise ship, there are different levels. At the top level, you got the executive suite. And as you go down on the boat, they're different, just like on the cruise ship. You know, if you pay a lot of money, they got you at the top. But on that cruise ship, on that boat, there are different levels. So as you begin to make your plans to depart the island that is sinking, you're going to be very intentional about who gets to go on that boat. Anybody's just not going to be able to get on that boat. So obviously your close people that are close to you, your significant others, your children, they're going to go in the executive suite. And then there's going to be another level of people. They aren't quite as close as your friends and family. They're not going to go at the bottom, but they might go a level down, and then so on and so forth. And then you're going to intentionally place these people on your boat. And so when you fill the boat, you have reached the 150 capacity. But what about that person that's number 151? What about that person that's outside of the 150? Now, just to kind of take a brief pause here, the 150 number comes from the anthropological study that was done by Robin Dunbar. He's a British anthropologist, and he made the conclusion through his studies that we can really have no more than 150 significant relationships in our lives. And this has been proven by other studies. So that's where I'm getting the 150 number from. It comes from the research of Dr. Robin Dunbar. But the purpose of our discussion today is to talk about the number outside of the 150, because a lot of times we have people that are in our lives that they're inside our circle, but they might need to be outside of our circle.
Can I stop you right here?
Yes.
As you were talking, I was like, is somebody taking up some space in my life? So I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this out. This is like a notice. Some of you jokers, isn't that something? Need to bring some more value, bring some more positivity, bring some more peace, and bring some chocolate cake also.
Right.
But bring something to the table. Okay, all right. I'm just saying I've got to put some folks on notice, because this is very. It's past interesting, really, to think of a concept of the number of people we can actively, effectively engage with at any one time, and think about the people that we have in our life right now, that when we are with them in their space, that we feel calm and peaceful. And the people that we're in our lives, some people are in our lives that when we are with them in their space, that we are tense, sad, depressed. We are less than because of what they do or we allow them to do. So I'm just going through my Rolodex of people that I spend time with, and quite frankly, I'm feeling blessed. But I am going to put a few people on notice now. I'm looking to hear some more about this, to see if I can, who I'm supposed to hold on to and not just let go real quick. But I got to tell you, somebody about to go.
And the thing that's so interesting about that Angie, when we use the concept of the boat, because I'm retired Coast Guard, put in the plug, U.S. Coast Guard veteran.
Yes, veterans. Yes.
I know the whole concept of boats, and you talk about in terms of now. One thing I want to just go on what you're just saying. Sometimes people might not go off the boat, but they might need to go down to a different level on the boat.
Oh, I like that.
They may, you might not want to get rid of them. Maybe through grace, you might give them a chance. They might not go off of the boat, but they might go to a different part of the boat. And so
like
that might be that relative that maybe has disappointed you one too many times. But because of God's grace, she or he might not get kicked off, but they're just going to go down and they're going to live at the bottom of the boat for a little while till they learn how to act right.
And that is why we're interviewing a reverend today, a preacher, because you're saying God's grace. Don't kick them to the curb too quick. Thank you.
And now we do, and now we do know that eventually some folks do work themselves off the boat into the water, or sometimes they might work themselves into a lifeboat. So I didn't mention this to you earlier. Now, when we talk about the 151 zone, these people that are outside of the 151 zones. So when we continue to look at the concept of the cruise ship or the boat that's traveling, with you in your life, you also have probably an infinite amount of lifeboats that are following down behind you, because you still have people that, like for instance, your Facebook friends. You have people that are following you that you may or may not know too well, or you might know them well. They're still following along with you. You're not limited to that 150. And so this is why we talk about the 151 zone, because there might need to be people that you need to bring in. So if we continue with the same example, so the boat has now left the island has sunk, and I have my boat with the 150, but like I said, I also have this armada of lifeboats that are following down behind me. And then 6 months into the trip to the new destination, someone on the boat gets sick. And I realize that I don't have a doctor on the boat. But there is a doctor in one of my lifeboats.
Okay.
And there's somebody down in the lower level deck that has been acting the fool the whole trip. He's been acting the fool the whole trip. And so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch them out. Doctor comes on the boat. That person is acting the fool. Now, I ain't going to throw him in the water. I'm not going to let him drown.
Right.
I'm going to throw him on the lifeboat. And there he shall stay until a different time. And so now I have the doctor on the lifeboat. And then as we continue our trip, I realized that as I was boarding people on the ship, that there was a good friend from high school, close friend, that I left on the lifeboat. Completely forgot about him. Good friend. And so I don't really know the doctor that well. I just needed the doctor for what? A season.
That's right.
So doctor, as hard as it might be, might need to go back to the lifeboat, but I don't know. I might need that doctor later, but someone else might need to be shifted out. Some people are in your lives, and I'm only repeating what everyone has probably heard, for a reason or for a season.
Right.
So the idea of the 151 concept is for us to be continually mindful of who we're not only allowing in our circle or on the 150, but where do they fit? Are they on the first deck? Are they, are they down on the bottom? Are they in the middle? And so in my book, I will go and kind of parse out, the different areas that I have designated for each of the levels or the different designations for the people that you will have in the 150. And again, we have to remember that it's changing. It's dynamic. It's dynamic, and we have to always continually be in prayer for God to lead us and guide us for who we allow to be in the 150, but we have to also be open and be understanding that there might be someone in that 151 zone, in that armada of lifeboats that's still with you, that might need to come on the boat.
Mhm. Wow, I really like that. And so so first of all, now I'm Army, retired Army, and when you say armada, you know, I assume you talk about there's like a big old bunch of boats behind us. Is that armada means huge, lots of them? Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I get
Right.
break it
And
down. Break it down for the Army folks.
right. So, and thank you for pointing that out, because we know all the Naval and Coast Guard people understood armada. So I apologize, Angie, for not using
No worries.
the right terminology. But
No worries.
now, one of the reasons that I wanted to bring out the whole thing with the armada and the people that were connected, there was a study done by Lisa Rachel. Now, her research kind of added to that of Robin Dunbar, and she talks about what are called ambient relationships. And these ambient relationships have to do with how you connect with people in social media. These people, again, can go from 151 up to maybe 1,000 or 1,500, because these are people that, again, in the age of social media, we have the ability to now to actually put a number as best we can on our relationships. And we weren't able to do this maybe 15, 20 years ago. And so her research kind of talks about, how can you really make the best of your Twitter and your Facebook connections. And so I kind of thought about that and said, and that was when I kind of started thinking about, we always talk about the 150, but what about that other group that's outside? Because I truly believe we do have to draw a line and kind of say, hey, these people that are close to me, who are they? What purpose do they serve? Why has God placed them in my life? And again, it's all about being mindful of that. Yes.
Oh, I love that I love the concept of intentionally engaging with people in our lives, and just actually being more aware of who we allow in our space. And it sounds like the 151 zone is about access. It's about access to us as individuals and who we will allow to turn our head to the right or to the left, and who we will allow to really spend time with, whether it is face to face, on the phone, texting, how we spend our social media time, since you brought that up. And where do we focus our time and our attention in a matter of 24 hours, each day? What are we doing? I like the fact that you just brought up I think you said ambient. Is that what you use, the word ambient?
Right. Ambient, right. Yeah, Lisa Rachel came up with that. Just wanted to make sure I give proper credit to the Lisa ambient relationships. Her article is on Twitter. Ambient intimacy is on Twitter, which she kind of talks about.
Okay. Okay, this is awesome. It's actually fascinating, and I personally think that we should be more aware of whether you're the 151 zone, the 150 people that we actually spend time with. This is it's a powerful concept, and for the people, the doubters out there who say, well, surely we're not going to count up 150 people. Well, in your mind, maybe it's 10, perhaps on based on your circumstances and where you are and how often you get out or interact with others. Maybe it's 140, 190. Don't get caught up on a number.
Right.
That's what I would say. I would say to just take a look at the people that you are intentionally spending time with, or whom you allow to spend time with. Now, so Reverend Mason, so I want to just pivot. I've been doing the prayer of Jabez and asking that God would actually enlarge my territory. And so for me, that means that God is going to allow and enlarge my territory. It is just a matter of me walking that way, right? And that means that with the concept of your 151 zone, that's going to mean that people that I would routinely or normally engage with would not have so much access to me. And like I heard you say, you have to be open to the people that are in the lifeboat that are following behind you, not necessarily behind you, but not in your everyday interactions.
Right.
We have to be open to bring them in also. And so I am very aware of who I allow to pour into me. And I'm prayerful that at some point someone's going to allow me to pour into them. And so I just found this very just fascinating as I personally move forward, walk sure-footed into what God would have for me at some point, and that is to, of course, add more value, to have a larger platform, to be able to help more people over time. And so the whole concept of being intentional about who has access to you.
Right.
And so I really do appreciate you sharing the overall concept. And I know it is, we take a deep dive when we actually, take the time to read your book and then get to know you. Of course, my audience is going to get to know you because I know they're fascinated too. And so we want to be open to the possibility that the people we knew when we were in middle school and high school, that at that particular time, they were the people that we were supposed to know.
Right.
And then we moved forward a few years then, and we were supposed to know a different group of people. And still, some of those people from high school and middle school, we still maintain contact with, or they allowed us to have access to them and us the same. Not on the same level, though, because we didn't see them every day. Right. And so with the concept of the 151 zone, I can clearly see over the span of my life how people have moved in and out of that zone.
Right.
And it's nothing nefarious or wrong about it. It is life.
Right.
And so I appreciate you sharing the concept. And I was thinking about, like you were in the Coast Guard, retired from the Coast Guard. And so, first of all, let's just stop and recognize your service. And we do appreciate your service to our nation. And I want to thank you for doing that, for just teaching me a whole new word, armada. I'm going to start I'll be using armada.
Thank you for your service as well.
So this concept really, is it more about the access that people would have to us and we would have to others? Or is it more about how God allows us to move forward in our lives? I'm thinking it's about personal growth as well as interacting with others and engaging with others. That's what's coming to me, because we're going to grow over time as we learn more, have more experiences, engage with other people. And so, but I don't, that's what's coming up for me. And so I'm not really sure. I mean, this is like put your big brain to work kind of thing.
Sure. So let me respond by saying, so let's go back to our story of the boat. So we were talking about here, traveling along, and you have your armada of lifeboats. Now, the last part that I want to add to this, and this is a perfect segue, you are not the only one that left the island.
Mm.
There were others that were leaving for safety as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their cruise ships.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their armada following them.
Yes.
And as you all are traveling to safety, there's going to be some overlap of 151 zones.
Yes.
They're going to be but the thing we have to remember is that as the ships 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 are traveling together, one of the ships breaks down and will need assistance from another ship to help them make it the rest of the way.
Okay.
And so in response to your question, it is both in terms of who you allow in your life, who God puts in your life, and being intentional. But we also have to keep in mind that we're not the only ship that's out there. That we need, because your ship might break down. You know, you might need assistance from another ship for that season. So you're not by yourself. God has put us here to work together and serve together and to travel together. Sometimes we might not be headed the same directions. And sometimes if one boat needs to leave, some of the group in your armada might go with that other boat. So I think interconnectivity is kind of the final piece, not the final, but I'm saying a piece that we also need to look at, having the mindfulness and respect to realize that everyone obviously can't fit within your 150, and there might be people out in the 151 zone that aren't going to make it on the boat. But the thought and the mindfulness to know that there are other ships out there that if you run into problems or rough seas, or if you break down, that there are other ships out there to help you.
I love that. I love that because and I personally believe that there's really nothing significant that we accomplish alone, that we actually need other people, and really relationships are critical to our growth and our development. And so I feel that. I feel that. That was the interconnected. What do you say? Interconnected.
Yes.
Yes. Love that.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And so what comes to mind, and we're gonna, as we come to a close here, what comes to mind is that we are all the star of our own, like our own big old movie. We're the star of that show, but there a gazillion movies going on all around us, and we might be bit players in the other people's movies or their lives, or we might not at all. We might just be watching from the big screen, right? Watching them, and we have to realize that when it's our time to play a part or role in that person's life, then it's okay. We can move in and out of there, and it's okay. It's okay to be on somebody else's boat or not. It's okay to move in and out of different seasons with people. It's okay to, I think personally, it's okay to kick some people off the boat. And then it's okay to be kicked off of some other people's boat. Isn't that something? It really is. It is. But I love the fact that you brought it all home to being connected to others. And this is really a fascinating topic. And so thank you so much for bringing this awareness to us here at the Better You Project. Thank you
for having me. Yes,
so much. I want to make sure that my audience can reach out to you. How would they be able to reach out to you after this interview is over? It'll be on replay, of course, on Angela M. Odom on my Facebook group. I'm also going to put it in inside of my, on the website, angelaodom.com / community. It'll be there, and in the blog, YouTube, however. So they're going to say, okay, that was fascinating. I want to know more about the Reverend Mason. And so where would they find you?
Yes, so you can find me via email at darrylkmason@gmail.com. That's DARRYLKMASON@gmail.com. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. That's linkedin.com/IN/Darryl K. Mason. And you can reach me at either of those contact places.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time today and for the fascinating concept. This has been a very, very pivotal moment for awareness for me. And first of all, I want to thank you because, this is the Better You Project for Women Leaders, and you are my first interview, and you are amazing. So
thanks for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So for everybody else, so for us, we want to invite you to join us inside of our personal community on angelaodom.com / community. And so we're building a community of like-minded women leaders progressing towards success in their careers. And so it's a free community, and it's not on Facebook. A lot of people are doing some different things, and we'll stay focused on leadership concepts within the community. So angelaodom.com / community. One of the things we're doing is coming up with our own book club. Bam, 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 bam. I know you're excited too, right? I'm going to tell you more about that. Of course, book club, angelaodom.com / book club. Now that's a paid book club. It's going to be for 12 months, and we're going to read 6 books over that time period. I know it's mind blowing. It's going to be good. So as we come to a close, every Tuesday at noon, we're here in the Better You Project. This is the video show for women leaders. And we have had the pleasure of engaging with Reverend Darryl Mason today. And you can connect with him on LinkedIn or on his email. He's also on Twitter and Instagram, and that's Darryl K. Mason. If you are, able to link up with him in those 2 places also. But with that said, as always, we are rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you to win. I'm rooting for you to move forward. I'm rooting for you to have all of the things that you have sown a seed for. I'm excited to see what happens. So Darryl, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time today. And with that said, we'll see you all next Tuesday at noon. Awesome.